Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for that introduction, Tammy. Give me a shout out if you can hear the sound of my voice and you're excited for today's session. What shall you shout out? Put a yay or yes if you can hear me. There we go. Oh, people love the intro. Oh, excellent. I spent all summer doing that intro, so hopefully you like that one. I try to do a new trailer every season, and this is a new school year, obviously. Oh, Archbishop McNeil is here. Hello, Angie. All right. Oh, I shouldn't have used her first name. I did. Sorry. Hello, Miss McKenna. All right. There's a holler coming in. Okay, excellent. Oh, I'm glad you like the trailer. Excellent. All right. There are a lot of you. Tammy tells me there are over 120 schools or people logging in for a total of about 4,000 people who are watching right now. So say hi to each other if you want in your classrooms. But I want to give a quick shout out to the people who registered early, and I'm able to give a shout out to your home city. So if you see your home city, type in yes or me or yay. All right, here we go. Ardrawson, hello from Alberta. Okay, my UFO is flying across Calgary, Alberta. Hello, anybody from Calgary. We've got Cobourg, Ontario coming in. Of course, lots of people coming in from Edmonton, Alberta and area. We also have people coming in from Freeland, Michigan. What else do we have over here? Oh, Halifax, Nova Scotia. I think you guys tune in almost to every one of my sessions, so thanks for joining again. And new people coming in from Ellsworth, Maine. Saw you earlier. Fort Saskatchewan, Alberta. Hello, everyone. I recognize that water tower anywhere. New York. I think we might have had a group coming in from New York. Also, Grand Prairie, Bezanson. I know I couldn't get Bezanson down, but I got close with Grand Prairie. Also, we got Putnam, Connecticut coming in. We've got Kelowna, British Columbia, which I saw in the chat earlier. That's excellent. And of course, Lamont, Alberta, if you were able to come in there. London, Ontario. We got a couple of people coming in from Los Angeles, California. Mill Creek, Washington. I think you popped up earlier. And of course, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. I saw you posting earlier in the chat. And anybody in the Sherwood Park area. And also Vegreville, A.L. Horton. I saw you there. And Woodstock, Ontario. These are all amazing schools and people tuning in to this session. Thumbs up to everybody. Thank you for joining us. Now, if you're wondering where I am doing this presentation from, I'm going to show you. I have it's a new gag that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you exactly where I am. So eyes on the screen, take a look at where I am. All right, so here I am on my personal spaceship. It's not where I live, but it's what I use to run errands. Actually, let me show you where I live. Okay, so let's turn the ship around. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. There's the planet Earth, and now we're gonna zoom into exactly where I live. All right, we're going to go to Canada, north of Red Deer, which, sorry, I didn't give a shout out to. We're in the city of Edmonton, also known as Amiskwaciwâskahikan. That's the original Cree name for the city. It means Beaver Hill House. We're following the river valley to downtown. Now, Edmonton is famous for a lot of things, but this year it's most famous for this building right over here, Rogers Place, where the Edmonton Oilers nearly won the Stanley Cup. And if we go across the city from Rogers Place, we will find in Ward Métis my house right over here. This is where I am right now. Well, actually, I'm on my ship, so let me beam back to my studio here. All right, so that's a little tech stuff that I've been playing with. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to try to build more over time, and I just like the idea of a science fiction theme. So if you're big fans of science fiction kind of special effects, put down in chat, yes, more, please. All right. Ooh, I see a lot. Okay, all right, excellent. All right, so we are here today actually for a couple of reasons. One of the big reasons, and the reason we have so many people from Edmonton and area, is today is the kickoff to Read-In Week. Now, for those of you who are not in the area, Read-In Week starts usually the first week of October, and it's a chance to get kids excited about the whole notion of reading books. And our hope is that you'll meet people who will come into your schools and read a book to you or your classroom, and it will get you super excited about that book, and you'll pick up that book from the library and read it for the rest of the week, and hopefully it'll start your lifelong reading habit so that you'll constantly be picking up a book and giving it a read. Now, The second reason we're here is I'm hoping that the first book you pick up is my book, Izzy Wong's Nose for News, which is why we're doing this virtual launch. We're celebrating the kickoff to not only Read in Week, but also the kickoff to my brand new book. Before I talk about my book, though, I do want to talk a little bit about Read in Week. I know a lot of times people would assume that since I'm a writer, I probably started off as a really strong reader. But here's the truth. Here's the truth. I actually was not a strong reader when I was a kid. I was actually about 2 levels behind everybody else when I was in school in terms of my reading level. And part of the reason that I was behind is because my parents were Chinese immigrants who came to Canada. They bought a grocery store in a small town just north of Edmonton, a little west of Fort Saskatchewan, way west from anybody in Minnesota. But they operated this grocery store in a little town called Morinville. Now, my dad, he could read and speak English, but he was too busy operating the store. My mom did not speak a lot of English, and she didn't read any English at all. So unlike other families where parents, guardians, or family members would sit down with their kids and introduce them to books and help them read, I didn't have that. And because of that, I was behind in my reading level. In fact, the only thing that was even close to a book that landed in my hands was a Chinese comic book. And I'm going to tell you the story of how I got my hands on this book. Every Sunday, my parents would close their grocery store and they'd drive to Edmonton to get some groceries from the Chinese grocery store. And we'd also stop for dim sum, right? And those, dim sum is like a Chinese brunch with all these small plates that would come up. You'd order them. You'd get to eat all sorts of really cool dishes through the day. Now, I love dim sum, and my favorite thing was shrimp dumplings. And I remember the restaurant was on the second floor of a 2-story building. The main floor had a Chinese grocery store, and on the second floor was the dim sum restaurant. And customers would have to line up in the stairwell waiting for their turn to get a table to get their dim sum, right? Now, I was an impatient kid and I was full of questions. I was constantly peppering my mom and dad with questions like, are we there yet? Are they going to run out of shrimp dumplings? Can we get our table now? Now, my dad, well, he was a little impatient, and my mom knew that he's going to start yelling at me at any time. So she was a diplomat, and she gave me a couple quarters and said, Marty, go down to the grocery store and get yourself some candy. Well, you didn't have to tell me twice. I grabbed the money out of my mom's hand, and I made a beeline into the store for my favorite candy. They were called Haw Flakes. Now, Haw Flakes, let me show you a picture of them. Haw Flakes are kind of like... they're kind of like fruit roll-ups, and they're just purple. They're shaped as coins. They stain your lips forever, but they're sweet and delicious. Now, I grabbed a couple of rolls, and I went to stand in line to pay for my Haw Flakes. But while I was standing in line, I noticed there was a table laid out with Chinese magazines, newspapers, and a black and white comic book. Now, I can't read Chinese, but I was kind of fascinated with the image of these 2 characters right here. Their names are, they're Lo Fuji is the name of the comic book. And they're kind of like a Beavis and Butthead duo who get into all sorts of funny trouble. In fact, here's a couple of panels from the comic book. And now I know this is called Old Master Q. Now, I was so fascinated with the book that I actually picked it up, put down the Haw Flakes, and I paid for the comic book. I went back to my place in line, and I didn't ask another question. I just flipped from one page to the other, trying to figure out what the story was. Now, I couldn't wait until the next week when we could go back to that same store and I could get the next issue of Old Master Q. Unfortunately, that comic only came out like once every 6 weeks. So the next time we went, there was no new comic for me, and I was kind of sad. But then I noticed across the street, there was a drugstore. I thought, well, maybe the drugstore has comics. So I went across the street. I went into the drugstore. I walked up and down the aisles looking for any comics, right? Eventually, I found the magazine rack, which had car magazines, home and garden magazines. And right beside the magazine rack were comic books. Now, these comics were different because they weren't funny, but they were in full color. And they were about really cool, colorful, superhero-type characters who were fighting criminals and trying to bring people to justice. There was the Flash, there was Batman, there was Superman and Spider-Man. And I was fascinated with these colored comics, and I pulled as many as I could afford, and I paid for them. Now, I smuggled those comics into the school, and I would flip through the pictures trying to figure out what the story was. Now, of course, my teachers figured out that I was behind in my reading level and they wanted me to catch up. And so I was sent to the school library to work with a librarian to try to, improve my reading. And I wasn't happy about it. And my librarian saw the comics I had and she said, "You know what? How would you like to learn how to read your comic books?" And I thought, whoa, this is kind of cool. I've got a librarian who wants me to read comics. And she said, "Yeah, I'm going to teach you how to read your comic books, but we're going to start by reading my comic books." And she introduced me to the Classics Illustrated, which were sort of classic novels that were turned into comic books. Now, when I started reading the Classics Illustrated, I discovered one thing, and that was there were way more words in her books than there were in mine, right? The dialogue bubbles were bursting, the caption boxes were like essays, and I realized that there was more going on in the story than what the pictures were telling me, and I started getting excited about reading the words. And there was a certain point where my librarian thought, "You know what? It's time for you to graduate from reading comic books to chapter novels." Now, at first I was kind of scared because I like the pictures because they helped me imagine what was going on. But my librarian knew exactly how to read me. She said, "Don't worry, I found the perfect book for you. I know that you like crime fighters, so I found a book about two brothers who fight crime. They solve mysteries." Now, some of you may know who I'm talking about. Type in chat if you think you know which two brothers solve mysteries and fight crime. Yes, I am live. I just can't read the chat because it's populating so quickly. Oh, look at that. Look at those. Oh, I'm seeing Hardy Boys. I'm seeing Hardy Boys pop up all over the place. Oh, look at those. Look at those. Let's see if I can bring some of them on screen. All right, let's see. Oh. Nope, I can't bring them on screen right now. All right, we'll bring them on later. All right, so we've got the Hardy Boys. Mario and Luigi. Okay. Mario and Luigi. Okay. Oh, dear. Okay. All right. No, it is the Hardy Boys. And right over here, for those of you who are not familiar with the Hardy Boys, there they are. Their names are Frank and Joe Hardy. And I loved reading the Hardy Boy detective novels because I like the idea of crime fighters and solving mysteries. In fact, I wanted to be a detective just like Frank and Joe Hardy. And I would actually run around the store and school and I'd spy on people and eavesdrop on conversations. Now, here's the thing. I loved reading mysteries, and I also loved sort of pretending to solve mysteries. And I actually pretended to be a detective in my dad's grocery store. I had a little cardboard badge. I used it on the inside of my jacket. I had a pair of plastic handcuffs in case I caught a shoplifter. And in case nobody took me seriously, I had a gun. It wasn't a real gun. It was a water pistol called the Super Squirter. And what I did was I filled up the Super Squirter with water and I jammed it down the front of my pants. Unfortunately, the Super Squirter was super leaky. So I didn't look like the store detective. I just looked like the boy who couldn't get to the bathroom in time. Now, here's the thing. I loved making up stories about solving mysteries, but I got a chance to actually turn those sort of fantasies of mine into actual stories in high school. And in high school, we had a project in industrial arts. And now we didn't have movie cameras. Today, everyone's got a phone that they could make a video. When I was a kid, we only had to use photography cameras to make slides. And I made a slideshow murder mystery. Well, not a murder mystery. It was more just like a mystery. And for preparation for today's virtual launch, I went through all my old boxes and I actually found the original slides. Now, these slides are 50 years old, so I apologize that they won't look very good in comparison to some of the images that we see today, but I wanted to show you my initial, very first mystery that I wrote. And it started off, I used my fellow classmates to be actors in the show. And this fellow, his name is Todd Bowden, and he played the victim, right? He was somebody who was kind of a street smart, tough talking guy. But one day somebody knocked him out and stole a ring from his finger, right? So the mystery started that somebody knocked out Todd Bowden and stole his ring. And now I had a detective. I wasn't playing the detective. I had another friend named Danny Van Sevenet who played the detective and was looking all over the school to find out where the ring was and who took it. And he'd look into all sorts of odd places like the toilet, and there was nothing there. But eventually he was able to find the criminal, and the criminal was played by one of my best friends, Jim Turner, right over here, who had a gun, but Danny was able to shoot it out of his hands. And over there's Todd trying to find his ring. And meanwhile, my criminal, Jim, was being chased down the hallway by Danny. So these were the slides that I used to create my very first mystery. And I love that so much that I wanted to write more mysteries. And that's basically what led me into the career of being a writer. And it all started with a librarian who took the time to teach me how to read. And so to me, that's why Read in Week is so important, because you never know what reading is going to do in terms of opening the doors to your future as a writer, your future as a scientist, your future as somebody who can do some pretty awesome things. Now, here's the thing. My book that we're talking about today is called Izzy Wong's Nose for News, which is a mystery. And in the main character of the story is a girl named Izzy Wong, who's a podcast journalist. And now some of you, well, maybe the teachers will know this, but teachers, if you recognize this show, type in yes. Anybody recognize Only Murders in the Building? Anybody recognize? Type in yes if you recognize it. Oh, we got a few of them. These are teachers answering. Oh, we got somebody who loves it. Okay, excellent. All right, now, Only Murders in the Building was actually inspired by the same thing that inspired Izzy Wong's Nose for News. It was inspired by a hit podcast called Serial. And in Serial, there was a reporter named Sarah Koenig, and there's a picture of her, who believed that there was somebody who was wrongly convicted of a crime, and she decided to explore the evidence to see what would happen. And it turned out that there was evidence that was not fully brought to light, and the case was retried. It became very popular, and it actually gave me the idea of having maybe a podcast journalist of my own named Izzy Wong, who would make a story about a crime that was committed in her school. Now, I can't have murder in a school, but I can have the next best thing, which is the toilets. So in my story, the criminal clogged all the toilets in the girls' bathroom. And Izzy has to find out who committed the crime, and she sets about on her investigation. And I know somebody's going, ew. I know, the bathroom kind of scares me too. Okay, now, here's the thing. To give you a sense of what the book is about, I made a little video trailer to give you a little sense of what the book is about. So everybody, eyes on the screen, here's a little clip that I made for Izzy Wong's Nose for News. All right, so there's my trailer for Izzy Wong's Nose for News. If you like that trailer, type in yes or yay. I want to make more book trailers down the line. So if anybody thinks that book trailers are fun, I'm going to keep making more, maybe mostly for mine. But I actually just made one for a friend of mine named Arthur Slade. It's all about dragons. So down the line, if you want to check out the next trailer that I made, it's all about dragons, and it's a really cool trailer. So I won't show it to you now because I'm talking about Izzy Wong's Nose for News. So hopefully some of you will want to grab that book. It may already be in your school. I saw somebody posting that they already had it in the school library. But if you don't have it yet, ask your teachers, ask the school librarian if they can bring it into the school so you can check it out. Of course, you can also buy it from the local bookstore or from Chapters. So if you want your own copy, go track it down. But I think in celebration of Izzy Wong's for News, I might give away maybe 3 copies to our lucky audience here. And you're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to earn it. So type in me if you think you are a clever detective. Who thinks they are a clever detective? The teachers are saying me. Okay. All right. Oh, wow. It's going so fast. I can barely keep up. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is this. You're going to have to earn your chance to win one of 3 copies of Izzy Wong's Nose for News by solving a mystery. Now, I'm going to help you out. There's a mystery that I'm going to present to all of you that you're going to have to think about. Now, kids, if you need some paper to jot down notes to sort of track the suspects, grab some paper now, grab a pencil. If you've got a good memory, go ahead and memorize it. If you want to team up with people in your class and discuss it, you can do that as well. So I'm going to give you guys just a couple minutes to sort of prepare to try to solve this classic mystery, okay? All right. Now, I'm going to show you what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to sort of bring up my control center. Hold on here. All right. So what we have here is a diamond, the Laszlo diamond. It's worth $1.3 million. And it's actually owned by this fellow right here. His name is Paxton Reeves. Let's dial in on him. He's a wealthy executive, an ex-business partner, and a diamond collector. And right over here, we're going to take a look at the scene of the crime. So let's dial in right over here. Over here, you will see this is where the Laszlo diamond was kept. On the other side of the house is a broken window that was discovered. We have some security footage that was taken. And right down here, there were tracks from a skateboard on the lawn. And over here, there were shoe prints among the glass. So those are our initial investigations of the crime scene. So take a look at this crime scene. Think about the location of the diamond in this room right here. There's a broken window over there. There is some security footage, which we're going to get to in just a second. We have a shoe print near the broken window and some skateboard tracks on the lawn right over here. All right. Now, that's the crime scene. Let's think about what the security camera was able to give us. Let me close this up. All right. So take a look at the security camera footage. This is what was tracked. Okay. So number 1, at 7:10, someone threw a rock at the house. Okay. The window cracks, but it doesn't break. So that happened at 7:10 p.m. Okay. Now, our next bit of security footage is picked up at 7:20. Someone tried to open the front door. Now, let's take a look at the footage. So right over here, the camera captured this. Someone trying to open the front door, but apparently they hurt themselves and walked away at 7:20. At 7:30, the camera cut out. The power went out, but the power returned at 8:03, and the alarms were ringing, and the camera caught a person climbing out of the cracked window, which is now broken. All right, so keep in mind the time. 7:10, somebody threw a rock at the window. It didn't break, but it cracked. At 7:20, someone tried to open the front door, but they hurt themselves and walked away. The power went out at 7:30, and at 8:03 it returned, and we saw somebody climbing out that cracked window, which is now broken. So keep that in mind. Now, when our investigators took a look at the broken window, this is what they discovered, okay? At the crime scene, they learned that the window was broken from the inside of the house, okay? They also found a ripped piece of white cloth on the windowsill. So that is what the investigators found. Now, you're probably wondering, who are our suspects? Let me present them to you now, all right? We have 5 suspects. Number 1, there is Carla Sims, who is Paxton's personal assistant, but she was underpaid, and she's quite upset about it. Her office, where she works, is actually in Paxton's house. So she actually has a key to the house, all right? So that's suspect number 1. Suspect number 2 is Maxwell Worth III. He was Paxton's former business partner, but he was betrayed by Paxton and has been very upset with him ever since. Before they had a falling out, however, Maxwell owned the house that Paxton currently lives in, and he was the one who sold Paxton the house. So potentially, he might know the house very well. He might even have an old key to the house. Now, our third suspect is this person right over here. Ooh, he looks kind of angry. This is Dusty Weens, who is Paxton's bodyguard until Paxton recently fired him. Now, Dusty apparently has a lot of gambling debts, okay? So that's our third suspect, Dusty Weens, Paxton's bodyguard who was recently fired and has gambling debts. Our fourth suspect is this skateboarder, Maya Gonzalez. Now, apparently Dusty saw her near Paxton's house on the night of the robbery at 7 p.m. Now, Paxton has chased Maya off his property before, and apparently Maya's dead broke. She lives in a van by the river. All right, so that's our fourth suspect. And our fifth suspect is actually a parking attendant at a restaurant called Ramona's. He was the one who parked Paxton's car at the restaurant on the night of the theft. This is a picture of Stuart, and apparently he has some debts from some college fees. So that is our fifth suspect. If we take a look at all our suspects here, we have Dusty, who's the former bodyguard, Carla, who's the assistant, Maxwell, the former business partner, Maya, the skateboarder, and Stuart, a parking attendant. All right, those are your 5 choices. Now, to help you out, we've got some more clues, so pay attention now. Take a look over here, some clues about Carla. Now, Paxton actually sent her to his house from the restaurant to get a file. Now, she was excited about sitting down and having dinner at Ramona's, but the restaurant, well, they let the food get cold because Carla had to go to Paxton's house, which is 20 minutes away from the restaurant. And Carla apparently cut her right hand trying to open the door. All right. So think about this. She has the key to the house. The restaurant's 20 minutes away. She had to go get something from the house, but she cut her right hand trying to open the door. Now, here's some information about Maxwell. Maxwell was found with glass shards on his right shoe. Maxwell was caught speeding at 7:24 p.m. across the city. Where he got his speeding ticket was about 50 minutes from Paxton's house. All right, so think about that, all right? Now, our fourth suspect, which some of you are already guessing, is Maya. Now, Maya was, as I said, spotted a few times skateboarding around Paxton's house. Now, apparently, Maya painted the inside of Paxton's house earlier, but Paxton refused to pay her because she did a terrible job of painting. And here's the thing. When they talked to Maya, they found one glove in her pocket. There was a glove in her pocket. Now, our final suspect is our parking attendant right over here, Stuart Todd. Now, he's the one who parked Paxton's car. In fact, we have pictures of him before he got the car and after he returned the car. In fact, let me see if I can bring up the photo of Stuart. So right over here, we have a photo of Stuart at 7 p.m. when he picked up Paxton's car, all right? Now, at 8:30, that's when Stuart returned Paxton's car, and that's a picture of him after. Now, curiously, Stuart had a Band-Aid on his left hand, all right? Now, if you have enough clue... Oh, no, wait. I think there's one more clue coming in. One more clue coming in right over here. Our clue is this. Investigators found a glove in a garbage a block from Paxton's house. The glove matches the white cloth found at the mansion, and there were traces of blood found on the left-handed glove. All right, now it's time for you to figure out which one of our 5 suspects stole the Laszlo diamond. Teachers, I want you to stand by the chat. You can make your guesses using numbers, all right? If the kids think it is Carla, type 1. If it's Maxwell, type the number 2. If it's Dusty, type in the number 3. If it's Maya, type in 4. And if it's Stuart, type 5. Let's see what the guesses are coming in. Ooh, we got a lot. We can see everything popping in. Oh, look at all the guesses. I'll give you just a couple more minutes to make your guesses. Oh, look at them fill up. Ooh, there's a lot. Stuart's in the lead with 66% of the votes. Maya, 18%. Carla's at 12%. Nobody thinks it's Dusty, or 1% thinks it's Dusty. Maxwell's got 2%. Ooh, Carla's climbing up. Ooh, this is interesting. Stuart's still in the lead at 64%. All right. I think we have almost all of them popping in. Give you just another 30 seconds to make your guesses of which one of the 5 suspects stole the Laszlo diamond. All right, thinking about all that clues, right? Thinking about how the window was broken from the inside of the house. Think about who had access to the house keys. Think about the glove. Think about the glove, right? The ripped white cloth on the windowsill. And remember, what glove was it? Right hand or left hand? There's a little bit of blood on it. And think about if anybody injured their hand, right? Think about that. All right. All right. We got the guesses in. So not quite done yet. Not quite done yet. There's some other question I need you to answer. Let me bring up that question in just a second here. We need to know, how did the thief enter the house? All right, don't worry, it's multiple choice. How did the thief enter the house? Did they A, throw a rock at the window, B, kick the door down, C, used Paxton's house key, or D, jump down a chimney like Santa Claus? So A, B, C, or D. Type in your guesses now for how the thief broke into the house. A, threw a rock at the window. B, kicked open the front door. C, used Paxton's house key. Or D, jumped down a chimney Santa Claus style. All right. Ooh, we got A, 37%. Got 9% for kicked open the front door. C is getting a big boost, 53%. Jump down the chimney. Nobody thinks Santa Claus did it? All right. We're getting a lot of C's, some A's coming through. All right, give you another minute to get your answers or your guesses in. All right. I think we have some pretty clever detectives here, so I'm pretty impressed with what's coming up right now. Okay. All right, give you another 15 seconds to put in your answers, A, B, C, or D. All right, I think we got mostly using Paxton's house key there. Okay, all right, let's go to one more question that you need to answer. All right, one more question to be answered, and that is, why did the thief steal the diamond? You're going to use numbers again, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1 for gambling debts. 2 for hated Paxton. 3, Paxton didn't pay them. 4, they have college debts. Or 5, Paxton fired them. Type in your guesses, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Okay. So remember, Dusty is the one who had gambling debts. We have Maxwell, who hated Paxton. We have Maya, who didn't get paid. We have Stuart, who had college debts. And Dusty was the one who was fired. Oh, okay. So we got a lot of 4s coming in. All right, I'll give you another 30 seconds to get your guesses in. Ooh, look at all those, 72%. So far, it looks like the majority of people think that the criminal has college debts, and that would connect us to Stuart, who apparently used the key to enter the house. Oh, okay, so let's see what the answer is. All right, give you another 10 seconds to get your guesses in. There's so many people typing. It's taking forever for the chat to scroll through. Okay, all right. Okay. I think CILC might have to cap it next time. I never saw so many people before. Okay, all right. Here we go. All right, I'm going to do the reveal. Eyes on the screen. The thief is none other than Stuart Todd. All right, excellent. Now, our thief was Stuart Todd. Let's break it down very quickly for you. So you remember the clue that we got with the glove, right? There was a glove found in a garbage near Paxton's house. It matched the white cloth found at the mansion, and there were traces of blood on the left-handed glove. Now, notice, if we go to the picture of Stuart, notice before he's wearing white gloves. Notice after he's not wearing gloves. And notice, he has a Band-Aid on his left hand. Now, he would have had the key because he was parking Paxton's car, and of course he has college debts. Now, we know that Carla tried to open the door, but she hurt herself and walked away. We know Maxwell was caught speeding 50 minutes away from the house. We know that Dusty has gambling debts, but he doesn't have access to the key. And we know that Maya had a glove, but it was a left-handed glove in her pocket. All right, so that is our answer right over here. And that is a reason to give out the prize. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. So many of you answered. I'm going to have to go into my spinning wheel to randomly choose. If you answered any one of those questions, somebody says I did it. Okay, all right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my winning wheel, and we're going to spin it from all the people who posted answers, and we're going to see who our first winner is. All right. Naomi Halcrow. All right, Naomi, you're going to have to stick around at the end of this so we can get your mailing information. So Naomi is our first prize winner. We've got 2 more books to give away, so stand by. If you didn't win the first one, you still have a chance. Here we go. Our second prize winner is... I should have had a drum roll for this. Okay, here we go. Cycling through Jameson F. I know Jameson. Hello, Mr. F. Okay, South Point School. Is it South Point School that he's still at? All right, Mr. F, stick around. Stick around. Your class should be cheering right now. All right, all right. All right, one more to go. Final book. Here we go. Our third and final prize goes to... from Gold Bar, Donna Overacker. I believe that's Gold Bar School. All right, excellent. Big cheer for everybody. Excellent job, one and... oh, Sophie's going, no. Okay. Congratulations to our 3 winners. Please do stick around, and we'll get your mailing information just after this. In fact, if you're in Edmonton, I might be able to drop them off in person. All right. Now we have just a couple of quick minutes. If you need to sign off at this point, don't worry. I know lunchtime is coming up for some of you. We do have a recording of this, so if you missed any section of this and you want to catch it, you can. If you have colleagues who had registered for this but were unable to catch it, send a note to CILC or to myself, and we'll have that recording for you to check out. Of course, the prizes are already given away, so they won't be able to win anything, but they will get the chance to see and try to solve the mystery on their own. All right. Are there any questions coming in from the audience? Let's see if there's anything coming in. Let's see. I wonder if I can get... oh, somebody put up the heart. There we go. Pretty voice. Oh, from Miss Laird's class. How old am I? How old am I? I am... okay, that's a good question. I am this old. I am a dinosaur. I have... I'm 59 years old. I'm turning 60 in May. So if you're thinking about birthday presents, think about something on May 11th. That's what's... Miss Tucker wants me to show the cats? Show the cats. All right, I'm going to show the cats. Oh, no, not that one. Let's give you right over here. My cats. Those are my cats, Buddy and Max, right over there. Oh! Michaela says, do I have superpowers? Do I have superpowers? No, but I do have some really cool things that I can do with my pen. In fact, if you'll indulge me, I'm going to show you one of the coolest things I've got. My pen right here. Now, this pen ties into writing. Obviously, you can use it to write. But when you want a story to really connect with a reader, what you want to do is you want to make your story, your objects, your people, your settings as real as possible in your mind, right? So I want to turn this pen into a lightsaber. So to make it real, I have to make it real for myself. So at first, I can feel the pen getting warm in my hand from the energy of the lightsaber. And then I'm going to listen closely to it because, well, I can hear the hum of the lightsaber as it's starting to spark up. And when I look down, I see this. Well, now that I have a lightsaber, you know what I gotta do with it. Oh, I think I found my target. Let me make some room. Watch. All right. So that's a brand new thing that I built as well. So hopefully you'll like that one. I built that one over the summer. But keep in mind, when you're trying to create stories and characters, make them real in your mind before you can capture the reader's imagination. I think I saw a question in the chat about, is this book available from Audrey's on Jasper in Edmonton? Yes, I believe that Audrey's will have copies in them. If they don't have them right now, you can ask them to order them and ship them in. Okay. This brings me to the end of my time with all of you. For the teachers, if you like this presentation, you're thinking, wow, I should try to book Marty for a writing workshop, you can reach me through the CILC or through my website. I'm more than happy to do some writing workshops for your class. I have a number of them, some that are on writing mysteries, some that are writing toy stories, some that are writing scary stories. I'm starting to build one on personal narratives, which hopefully will be ready by the spring. But essay writing is one of the tougher ones to teach. So I hopefully will have something in place by the spring. So teachers, if you're interested in any of my workshops, please do reach out through the CILC or through my website and ask about what kind of programs that I have. Meanwhile, for those of you who are readers, I celebrate all of you for already reading. For those of you who are about to become readers, grab a book this week and give it a read. Whether you're in the Edmonton area or not, this week is a good chance for you to pick up your reading habits and try to become a lifelong reader. All right. So it's time for me to say goodbye. I'm going to send you off with something fun. What should I do for something fun? Okay. I think I know how to do this. Okay, here we go. Okay, I got to sign off now, but I'm going to sign off with a saying that was really popular when I was younger. And that saying is, I gotta split, which basically means I have to leave. Okay, so everybody have a great day. I gotta split. What? Okay, I didn't mean that literally. All right, everyone, take care. I gotta put myself back together.